Daisy was walking up 6th Avenue, her feet hurt. So she went into a little park. She found a little park at the corner of 6th Avenue and 4th Street. And she took her shoes off and she was rubbing her feet. They really hurt. She noticed that there was some beautiful iris on the other side of the path. There were yellow iris and purple iris. And she looked at her dress. She was in a yellow dress, and she thought, wow, somebody could take me for a flower in here. She was rubbing her feet, and a young man walked through. He was cutting the corner from 6th Avenue to 4th Street. And he stopped right in front of her. He said, Daisy, Daisy. And she looked up, and she'd never seen him before. And she was really startled. And those big blue eyes of hers looked up at his, and his was so beautiful. Big, thick, dark eyelashes. And her eyes dropped down. She looked at the iris that were rioting on the other side of the path. He said, you are my Daisy. I found you. And she said, I'm very sorry that I think you have the wrong Daisy. And he said, no. I am Jay. You are my Daisy. He sat down next to her. She withdrew her hand. Yes, he had taken her hand. She had noticed that he had long, beautiful fingers. Maybe he was a violinist or even a poet. He kissed her hand, closed it, and gave it back to her. He said, there, now you have my gift. And that means that you have the gift of Daisy. No matter what the outside world calls you, no matter what they call you, you are the essence of Daisy, and you carry the joy and the beauty and the freedom of daisies. And she said, but I am Daisy, that's my name. And she smiled at him, and he looked at those dimples. He said, really? Yes, what's yours? She said, Jonathan, he said. My name is Jonathan, but I'm not a Jonathan, and I'm not a John. I'm Jay, just Jay. I'm Jay. I've been looking for my Daisy, but I'm not a Gatsby Jay. No, not I'm J-A-Y-J. I'm just Jay. Is your name really Daisy? She said, yes. And she smiled again. Oh, the dimples. She said, yes. Yes, but you know, I think it's a frivolous name. I'd rather have a more profound name, like Philosophia, and then people could call me Sophie. And he said, oh, that's ridiculous. A barefoot Sophie in a yellow dress. No. You're the essence of Daisy. You're the perfect Daisy. Somebody was wise enough to name you Daisy, and you will always be Daisy. And I love you madly. And she said, well, if you love me madly, then you are mad, because you don't know who I am. You don't know anything but my first name. I mean, you guessed my first name. He said, well, what's your last name? She said, yes. He said, well, Daisy Flower. No, that's silly. Daisy, you're not Daisy Miller, are you? She took a moment, and she said, no, that's even sillier. He said, let me think. Give me a hint. She said, it's the name of a bird. He said, okay. He stood up and he looked at her. She was so lovely. She was perched on the bench in this oasis of green just off of 6th Avenue. Yeah? And her long neck and her bobbed hair showed a beautiful set of cloisonne earrings. They were yellow and green and swirls. They were swans with little purple eyes. And he said, whoa. He said, this is easy. Your name is Daisy Swan. And she paled, because that was her name. And she thought, what is this? She got frightened. And she said, yes, it's my name. How did you know? And he said, it's fate. It is fate. Do you know where you are? And she said, yeah, I'm in Greenwich Village. No. Oh, yes. Greenwich Village is where anything is possible. But do you know the name of this garden? And she said, no. And he said, Daisy Swan, you have alighted in the site of what used to be 100 years ago one of the most famous bars in America, and some of the most infamous artists and writers used to hang out right here, and you, Daisy Swan, landed here. The name of the bar, well, it was called the Hellhole by its customers, but the real name of the bar was the Golden Swan. You found it, and I spotted you. she didn't know what to say. So she smiled again. He saw those dimples. He said, do you like Thai food? There's a wonderful little restaurant across 4th Street, and I hear that Swans really like lemongrass and mint. She said, yes, I do, and some Thai iced tea would be nice on a hot afternoon. She put her shoes back on. Those sore feet were totally forgotten. She got up and they walked out of the garden together, and as they crossed the street, he said, and after lunch, maybe we can go to the park. Do you know the story about when they declared that Greenwich Village was a free republic from the top of the arch? And he took her arm, and they went into the restaurant.